You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
You've heard me talk about Squares golf shoes and how they help you hit the golf ball further. And many of you are saying, oh, come on, Faldo, give us a break. How is that possible? But yes, they do. And it's proven with science.
What we noticed with the Square shoes was the shoe keeps the pressure in a more stable fashion towards the inside of the trail heel, allowing pressure to get to the lead side, generating much more club and speed and distance gain.
Visit squares.com. Change your shoes, change your game. Squares, the distance golf shoe.
Back to Big's Golf Talk BGT 2.0. I am Big John Quick. He is the golf father, Bill Cuevas, and he is...
Who that?
He is the wisest man in golf, Greg Wise. And Greg, let me just officially welcome you to the staff of Big's Golf Talk BGT TV on air, because you've done about over a year, 2 years almost of behind the scenes, our graphics and things like that, and production and all that. But now you are officially part of our on air staff, and we want to welcome you to the family.
Is I just keep getting confused. Staff, isn't that an infection?
It is, and it grows like a fungus.
And that's Bill, because Bill all of a sudden, 10 plus years later is still here. So
yeah. It's a fungus that keeps giving.
So it's a fungus among us.
It keeps growing.
Yes. It's growing and growing and growing. Yes.
We announced on LinkedIn and on our social media handles about Greg's acquisition here on Big's Golf Talk, and he adds so much wisdom, and we're about to share some of that wisdom that Bill and I have no experience at whatsoever. But we had ShotScope on our show, and Greg has taken an extra step for those that love to play hickory golf clubs out there. And Greg, we're about to show a video, a step-by-step kind of instruction of how ShotScope can work with hickory. One thing that we didn't know is how long was the process for you to do everything that you did in that video?
Over a little bit of time. Well, if you started to finish, you'd probably have about a half hour in the whole process. I mean, it was just basically clipping the barb off that you'll see, smoothing it down, prepping your golf clubs and gluing them. And then they had to set for a day just to be cured. So,
and for the safety factor of this discussion, I just want to let you know, you're going to see a clip in that video of where Greg has a knife going towards his thumb. You always want to go away
from you. I don't think they taught that back in Greg's day. I think that was a thing after all of the people in his generation were stabbing each other by mistake. So yeah, I think that's what happened.
My bifolds only focus one way, and that was drawing it down to smooth it. If you're going to carve it like a chicken, you'd want to cut it away. But yeah. I'm very, very accomplished with carving with a knife.
He's very accomplished. He's only stabbed himself 6 times. That's it.
Yeah, the stitches are just barely clearing up.
That's right. And the stitches, they don't leave many scars anymore, so it's okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if you're interested in using ShotScope, if you're one of those hickory players out there, we have a few people that do listen to the show that's hickory. Yes. And you want to keep stats of the yardage you're hitting with your hickories. Certainly ShotScope is one of the solutions for you. And Greg will show us how it's done. And let's get to that right now.
Experiment. I actually play hickory golf clubs, and I've always wanted to track the distances. So when I was at the World Amateur Championships in Myrtle Beach, I talked to Gavin, who was displaying shot scope there. We discussed it out, and we think this is going to work. So what the goal was, and I got a V3, it tracks every shot on GPS. My goal today is to get these little tabs that have little barbs on the back, like a screw. And typically conventional clubs has an open shaft, obviously, and you screw them right into the top end of your club. Well, a hickory shaft is solid. So our goal today is to go ahead and cut these barbs off. And that's the part that Gavin said you won't create any damage to the sensor, and glue them to the ends of my shafts. So we're going to go ahead and try to do this today. So here's the situation. We've got a little button shaft, and this one actually happens to be a 3-wood. But as you can see, it has a little bit of a threaded back end that goes into the top of the grip to lock them onto the grip to make the swings and track the shots. So my goal today is to be able to take that barb off, and with a simple pair of dike cutters, wire cutters, is to snip that off. One option is to take another cleaner cutter, but I've kind of opted for just a box cutter and clean that tab off so there's no burrs to the plastic. So essentially it comes out really smooth and clean and ready to put on. So my main goal was also to track each club distance and direction. So I've established what each little tab is going to go on each of my hickory shafts. Now, most all of us know that hickories aren't 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 pitching wedge putter. They're more like niblet, mid niblet, a variety of old golf terms. So I just created a chart to say my 6-iron is now a niblet. So I'm in the shop, the clubs are all cleaned up, and they're ready to install the tabs on the end of the shafts. Now the interesting part about a Tad Moore golf club is the quality grip that he puts on, and he actually has a flat end to this grip, so it makes actually putting on these grips fairly easily. So we'll show you that in just a second, but we're ready to install. So I've made my sheet as a comparison for what club tab is going to be what club in hickories, and this will be my comparison chart when I start tracking these clubs on the ShotScope program. So we'll have these on in just a few minutes. We are all set and ready to start testing. We're going to the golf course this morning, so let's go take a look at how this works out.
That's pretty cool, man.
So I'm going to be looking for a agent for, my handwork and my.
Yes.
I checked to make sure my nails were clean on that video.
Did you use palm olive?
Yes, Marge.
Once again, safety disclaimer here: you do not ever want to take a knife and cut towards your finger.
Yes, sir.
That's
great video. By the way, we are going to actually post that step-by-step instruction. So for those that have hickory, don't have to watch this whole segment. We're going to post that on our YouTube channel, standalone, and so Greg can help you through that process and connect your ShotScope tabs to your hickory clubs.
The one thing that I did do that I didn't show there was just to assure that those stayed tight to the end of the club on the butt of the shaft was to tape them on while they set and cured. So they were essentially taped hard.
The other
And,
thing, the other thing is, I didn't hear you say what you use to
Adhese them.
connect those. I mean, you said glue them, but what kind of glue? You're using hot glue? What are you using on that?
Well, you could do a number of different things. I actually use Gorilla Glue.
Okay.
But you could use epoxy, but then it was like, okay, just do the Gorilla Glue. It's not going to come apart. And epoxy wouldn't have either. I just didn't know how it was going to respond to the grip material.
Yeah. Right.
And I knew that I'd be okay with Gorilla Glue. So that's kind of what I used.
Nice.
All right.
Look, it looks seamless on those pictures, man.
Yeah. I mean, it was fantastic. Now you connected those tabs. You left the video as you were going out to the golf course. So walk us through to what happened on the golf course. And let me ask you this. Did that help you to know now what those hickory clubs were doing distance-wise?
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to show you something pretty quick, and it was pretty embarrassing. It's been 6 months since I've had my hickories out. Mm-hmm. And for anybody that's ever swung a hickory club, it's totally different than swinging a conventional. Let's put it that way. They feel very heavy. They feel like you have to wait on them, which you do. And so we showed up at the golf course, and there was a guy, a twosome, standing right behind Bev and I when we got ready to go. And I walked back there. I said, I really don't know what I'm going to do with this because I'm starting out with my hickories again. I've got to get to play them so I get to tournament level. And, well, this tracked it way too good. So if you can show this.
Okay, we see it.
For my first tee shot was 70 yards with my driver.
Wow.
It was not even to the women's tee, and my wife looked at me and said, no, don't go there. I'm not, no, not in front of the clubhouse. So the next shot was
your pants down and walked all the way to the forward tee?
Yes, something like that. My next shot with a 5-iron was 48 yards. And the guy behind me is looking, going, oh God, this is going to be a long day.
It's going to be painful for us.
So easy enough. The next one, the 5-iron, I actually hit 156, and I started to get used to it relatively quick. So not to be outdone, the next day I took it back.
And you did more. Go ahead, finish your thing, and then what I really want to see. Oh wow, that's a lot better.
So my driver off the tee on the second day, once I slowed down and smoothed out a little bit, was 199. And then I took a 3-wood into the green, which was more of a punch roll, and I parred that hole. So it was like I was back. This was very comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know where you went the day before, but I'm glad you came back to what you needed to do. But you know what? One of the interesting things that, while we were talking about the process while you were doing it, and we're running ideas in the middle of the night and stuff like that, you told me and you explained to me, which is something that I never knew. Only hickory people are going to know. I don't know if Big John knew it in the beginning or anything, but you say every club is called different. It's a different name. Yeah. So our 7-iron is not called the 7-iron over here and there and stuff like that.
No, niblet, mid-niblet.
Yeah,
niblet. And
when you watch that video back, I made a really big blunder. There's a club called a spade niblet, which is about a 7 or 8 iron.
Okay.
On my sheet, it actually says space niblet, which really represented my game on the first day. But
you see that? A lot of space.
Yeah, a lot of space up there. Whoa.
Do you have a picture of that chart?
Do I have a picture of the chart?
Yeah. Do you have a picture of the chart, a comparison? What is a 7-iron compared to this? I know we were talking about originally you were going to do that for you. So so like
yes, for I
people,
do.
I want to know if we have a cheat sheet. So if people that are listening and people who are going to be watching the video and stuff, are they going to be able to say, hey, Greg, can you save me a headache and send me your chart so I can have a comparison? This is what this is. This is what that is.
The interesting
For a
part,
small nominational fee.
yeah,
We'll send you the breakdown. Yeah.
I'll send you guys the chart. I'll
Okay.
correct the spelling on the chart, and then
Yeah.
I'll show you what my normal 7-iron is and what it really represented to the hickory and what it's
Mhm.
called. The interesting part is that when you look at hickories, my hickories aren't supposed to perform the way they perform because you always lose because they're so different to hit.
Yeah.
There's a part of shot scope that compares a 10 handicapper with a 10 handicapper pro or
Yeah.
a pro of the
Yeah.
same caliber. And I was hitting the same distance with hickories as the normal 10 handicap. But
you're
then
not
when I go
normal.
to I'm not normal. Thank you. Is that somebody said that? But it helped me understand that, well, if I go to conventional, my 7-iron is like a 160, 165 club. In my 7-iron hickory, which is a niblet, I'm like 150. So you lose a little distance. But what the reality check for me was, and I've been playing golf 58 years now, is that when I started out, I had a 3.579 putter and a 1 3/5 woods.
Yeah.
And with hickories, I have my 5-iron, a 7-iron, a 9-iron, a pitching wedge, a gap wedge. But the 3.579 theory is right back there, and I can make them work any way I want for distances.
That's awesome. And a lot of people don't know, like with your driver comparison. What do you drive? What, around 260 is your normal with a regular club, correct?
255 to 260 is my driver.
Yeah.
And
then with
right,
the hickories, about one.
right now I'm about
just
210.
shy. Yeah. So that's I mean that's significant. 40, 50 yards.
Okay.
But you're playing closer.
In reality, you and I would play in a tournament and play from 6,600 yards. If you go to a hickory tournament, you play at 5,500 yards.
Oh, okay.
So there's a major difference in the fact that you play hickories, so they move you up
distance, right,
in distance because they know you're going to lose distance.
Yeah.
So my goal was to find out what distance I was losing, and shot scope proved it.
It would be interesting to see where you would perform better based on your regular stats and your hickory stats, because when it comes to hickory,
the performance, if you keep score, you obviously your score is going to reflect what the difference in the performance is.
No, I mean distance.
Are you talking about distance and shot shaping and all that stuff?
The distance, because there's not much of a gap. And if you do go to 55 compared to 66 in a regular golf course, that could be huge. You could be shooting lights out, with what you're doing.
Okay, with hickories, it's not so much shot shaping. It's more like trying to get it from point A to point B.
Right.
Because it's so totally different of a swing. You'll get to do that. I'll bring some hickories next time we see each other.
Okay.
And you'll see what it's all about.
I mean, the only time we did it is when we were on Mackinac Island. I got to do it. They didn't have lefties, but they had righties. So I got to do it. And
well, you just turn them over and play backwards. That's all.
No way. Come on, Papa. Don't mess with my head like that. We asked them for it.
Too early in the morning on this Saturday morning.
Yeah, we only had, I think I had 3 clubs. I had a putter, a driver, and I don't know which iron. They didn't have many, but it was fun playing with it. And I love putting with that thing.
Oh, yeah. You can carry a wood shaft to putter with you. It doesn't matter.
No,
it's the clubs that make a big difference.
When we just did the Gomez event, the guy that I played with, that's what he had. He had a hickory putter. That's what he played. Yeah. All his other clubs were, iron and everything, but his putter was the putter he used forever.
Hey, Biggs, I want to show this one picture before I go for what this was. This was a par 3, and my 7-iron. My 7-iron actually went 163 to the green, 149 to the green. I was in that trap. I kind of blew it past the hole coming out of the sand, and tapped in for a bogey. I mean, shot scope is that tight that it shows you where you were at, how you were there, and how you got there. And then essentially each hole tracks it the same way. So you see
I
where
like
you're
that.
at, you can revisualize where you're at, and you can see where
Uh-huh.
your troubles are.
That's awesome. That's really cool. You know what you have, and just so people are aware, I need next time we talk, Greg. I don't know if you did it, but if you can, I know you also have the shot scope. You have the regular shot scope with an
Yeah.
additional watch piece on it. What I want to know is, can you take that piece, put it in your shot scope, and track your hickories, and then take out that little tiny piece and put the other one in to use your irons? So
No.
you still could. Oh no. Oh, okay.
no. I was trying to figure out how to do that. You essentially
Okay.
have an account, let's say for my hickories,
Okay.
and then with the
It's a
cool
separate-
shot scope that I
right.
have a separate account just for that, which is my
Right.
conventionals.
Right.
I'm not
Okay.
going to use them on the hickories. So my hickories stay my hickory side. My conventional stays my
That's a
conventional
whole
side.
separate account. Yeah.
And I can
think
assure
over-
you,
accounts.
Uh-huh.
I can assure
ahead.
you, when you learn to hit hickories,
Mhm.
it will make the conventional side so much easier, because
wow, okay.
you actually can't overswing a hickory, and that transfers into the conventional side.
That's interesting. What I want to talk to, we'll have Gavin on again soon, because the contest we have coming up is coming to a close at the end of this month. But I
Yeah.
want to see if there's a way, like for somebody like you, and I'm sure there's other people that maybe they have more than one. Maybe there's a way that you can combine the two and give yourself more of a comparison thing.
Well-
You just compare it from account to account. I mean, you're not. It's not a big deal, but
No,
you know,
but I
in
think
order
it's
to
cool.
cross-referencing, you'd have to transfer the tabs and everything else to the conventional and all that. It's just a big hassle. You're just lucky, just have two different accounts on it and all that stuff. But
I know we're running short on
Yep.
time, but one of the things that I want to talk to Gavin about is being able to choose a golf ball on, because once I get a baseline for how my hickories play and I'm consistent with it, if I could choose a golf ball that now travels that particular ball 2 or 3 more yards, or changes it enough
yeah,
that I can tell by the shot scope which ball I was playing. And all of a sudden, if I'm losing distance and I know what my baseline is and I played a different ball that day, I'm going to go back to what works best for me.
all right, we got to go.
Sorry.
Shotscope.com is the website. Also, you have a couple days here left to enter the giveaway. Go over to bigsgolftalk.net.com, BIGGS golftalk.net.com for the giveaway, and enter every single day.
Phrase of the week.
What was that?
Who was that?
Phrase of the week.
Shot scope?
Hickory.
Hickory?
Hickory.
Hickory.
I love it.
Woo!
And speaking of Hickory,
Hickory.
only person to check out for Hickory clubs is Tad Moore. So
Yes.
look up Tad Moore Golf, because that is the man to get you your Hickory clubs. And Greg, I wish we had more time to talk a little bit more about Tad Moore and your clubs and what they cost and things like that. But check out Tad. He's got a website and everything else. Look it up, tadmoregolf.com, I think it is, or tadmore.com. More Biggs Golf Talk coming on your way with Biggs Product of the Week, and Greg's going to stick around for the final 3 holes here on BGT 2.0. We'll be right back.